welcome back to Coloring with Critters. I'm Jessica, and I'm here for another color and chat today. I am coloring out of Unicorn by Jade Summer with my Prismacolors. And I started on this picture last night, but I haven't had much chance to work on it. So I need to chat today, guys, because it's been a stressful day. And it's only 10:45. So if y'all don't mind, I am going to vent to y'all about my day. So I had a vet appointment this morning for my little piglet, Pinkie Pie, and for my kitten, Trixie. They both need to be spayed. So I got up this morning, got Trixie, loaded up in her carrier and everything. Went to get Pinkie Pie loaded up, and I decided that rather than trying to force her into a crate, which she does not like, that I would put up my little pet hammock in the back seat, which is like a vinyl cover that goes over your seat and attaches to the headrests and keeps your pet in the back seat. So I did that. I got her in the car, which she was not real happy about. She was already angry because she hadn't been able to eat, and pigs are very close to their stomachs. So she had been crying and screaming about it pretty much all morning, since about 5 a.m. So I got her in the car, and I started heading that direction, and she was not happy. She was moving around a lot. She got really stressed out, and when pigs get stressed, they poo. And I was prepared for this. I had towels, but so that happened, and I rolled the windows down, pulled over, cleaned everything up, got back on the road. Well, then she got mad again, and she somehow managed to pull my back seat down, because my back seat folds down if you need it to. And so she managed to do that and then get sort of wrapped up in the hammock and tangled and making more messes for me to clean up. And she just screamed. Even after I got her untangled, she screamed all the way to the vet. So I know when I go to pick her up today that I need to go ahead and bring the crate and make her get in it, because that was not safe for either of us. It was very stressful for her, and it was dangerous for me because I was trying to drive. And I've had her in that hammock before. It's not been a problem before. I think she was mad this morning because she didn't get to eat. I think that's what it was all about. So I got her to the vet, got her inside, dropped her off, and I got about halfway home, and the vet called me. And he says, I'm going to have to postpone this surgery on her. So, of course, I asked why. He says, well, she's not responding properly to the anesthesia. And pigs are actually much more sensitive with anesthesia than dogs and cats are. So, if you're not very careful with them, they can die from it. And so I was glad that he quit. That he said, you know what, this is not working right. We're just going to stop and bring her out. But the surgery didn't get done. They only just started to make an incision, and it was not going well. So he just sewed that little bit of an incision up and sent her back. So basically the whole trip for her end was kind of for nothing, which I'm a little upset about, because now I have to go back in about 2 weeks, and we're going to try it again, and we're going to use a different kind of anesthesia next time, in the hopes that it will, that the other kind of anesthesia will work better for her, because there is more than one option. So we get to go through all of this all over again in about 2 weeks, and of course I'll know my lesson about not putting her in the pet hammock, right? So I get home, okay, and I find that as I come through my farm gate, my other gate into my actual front yard is open, and all of my goats are out in my driveway area. which they did twice yesterday. This is a new thing. I believe that my middle pig, Opal, is the one doing it, because I've seen her messing with the gate, and she's figured out that she can pop the latch. She did it twice yesterday, let them all out. We got everybody put up, and we thought we had it fixed. We put a bungee cord around it, thought it was okay. Well, obviously it isn't, because they were all out again. Thankfully, they're very easy to get rounded up. I shake some food, and they all come running. So this time I actually put like a metal chain around the bottom of the gate, because with the bungee, it had enough give in it that they could get through, push it open enough to get through it. I don't think, knock on wood guys, I don't think they'll be able to do it with the chain. But we'll see, because it's only been like 40 minutes. I'm going to look out there in a little while and see if things are still going well. So that's how my day started. And now yesterday was my birthday. Yay. I'm 35. And I honestly did not have a great birthday. We're planning to celebrate today anyway. So hopefully this afternoon will go much, much better. But I did work yesterday morning, and it was a very stressful day at work. I had a disagreement with a supervisor that upset me. And so I came home and got into a little bit of a disagreement with my fiance. So it's just a day to get into disagreements with people. It was super stressful. So that's why today, now that I have gotten home and back into my pajamas, at least until I have to go pick the kids up at the vet, I'm going to color and relax, make my little video here. When I finish this, I will probably go play a video game for a while, because that's something else that I do to relax myself. Oh, look, I missed a little bit of skin here. Let's go in and get that colored. And then tonight I am going to get to go out to a nice dinner. We're going to go have steak, which I don't eat very often because I'm really particular about where I go to get steak. I'm really funny about how I like it cooked and flavored. But there is a place that's about 30 minutes away from here that I really do like. So we're going to go do that. That looks a little dark, but I think that because it's kind of in the shadow, maybe it'll be okay. So wish me a better post-birthday, I guess. That today will be better than yesterday, and that this afternoon will be better than this morning. I really should be doing housework, and I need to go ride my horse, but it's a little cool outside, so I'm going to see if it warms up a little in the early afternoon. But I just want to relax. I need to de-stress. And coloring is great for that. Coloring is great meditation. It's great relaxation. I think that's why so many people like it. That's why it's become so popular now. Because anybody can do it. You don't have to have the littlest bit of talent. Because gosh knows I don't think I do. And you can still enjoy it and relax. And there's something very soothing about just putting these motions, onto the paper back and forth like this. It's very relaxing. I know this is super light, and y'all probably cannot see this, but I'm about to go up to my next darker color, and maybe you'll be able to see it then. This is a Prismacolor sharpener, and the blades got dull in it, and I bought some replacement blades, but I couldn't find any that were actually Prismacolor's brand. So I had to get a different brand, and I'm not completely sure that they fit the sharpener as well as I'd really like them to. So I don't know if they're actually, our Prisma brand blades that are available. You know, I haven't seen any. So if anybody knows about that, they could let me know. In somewhat better news, I'm getting a new phone. I have a Samsung S7, and it's been in really bad shape for a while because I cracked the screen. Oh gosh, it's been months ago that I cracked the screen. So it's cracked, and it's got like this weird pink line that goes through the middle of my display. And I have put off getting another one, you know, because I knew I had a deductible on the insurance, and I thought, well, maybe I'll just wait and trade it in, because I only have a few months until I can trade it in. But I finally got frustrated with it and decided to look and see what my options were if I filed the insurance claim on it. And as it turns out, it's actually the cheapest thing for me to do. If I were to wait until it was time to upgrade, I'd have to pay for, you know, what is it, $700 or $800 for a phone that you pay out over the course of several months or 2 years, or I don't know, whatever it is now. And I really don't want to have a phone payment on my bill anymore because my bill is really high. So it turns out that for a $112 deductible, they will replace my S7 with an S8. I'm sure it's refurbished, but that's fine. I think that's a pretty good deal. A new phone for that much is a good deal because you can't get an S7 for $112 if you buy it new. They're still several $100s even though they're old. So supposedly my new phone will be here soon, which I'm pretty excited about because I hear it has an even better camera, so I can do better videos with it than even what I do with this one. Sorry guys, I'm having to take a break to get a sip of my drink. I feel like I've had a sore throat. So I know a lot of other YouTubers, color tubers, use the S8, and they give it good reviews. So that should be pretty neat. You know, plus I've had other issues with it, like the charging port. It just doesn't, it isn't very, it doesn't hold the cord in tight enough, you know. So if you jiggle it the least little bit, it kind of comes loose. So that'll be nice. Does anybody else get intimidated by fabric? I feel like I don't understand really how to color fabric very well, especially and make it look like any actual real texture. I tried going in and doing all the little light layers in the folds and things, but I still don't feel like I'm getting it. I actually bought a whole book of fashion pictures. It's called In Vogue. It's got lots of pictures of clothing and stuff, and I'm going to practice in it and see if I can get just a little bit better with it. What else is going on out there in the color tube world right now, you guys? I haven't had as much time to watch videos lately. A lot of the people that I follow haven't really put out a lot of videos as far as I can tell. And I haven't even checked to see what the various buddy colors and color alongs and contests and things are on a few of the pages that I normally follow. Because I probably wouldn't have time to color for them anyway right now. Never enough hours in the day. That's why I hope one day I get to retire, which will be lovely, and I can raise goats and play with horses and rescue pigs and color in coloring books. Because those are life goals, guys, right? That's important stuff. I'm not much for travel. Kind of a homebody. Not necessarily because I don't like to go places. I think a lot of it is because of the pets, because I need to be here by a certain time of day to feed them, and going out of town means my mother has to watch them for me, which is a lot for her to deal with because she has her own pets and she works full-time still. So, I don't know. I mean, it's not that I wouldn't want to do some traveling, it's just that it's not really practical for me. I might do it a little bit one day, when I can get a real house sitter to come and, just sit here and take care of everybody for me, that, so I don't have to worry. Because when you have this many, it's not the same as like when you just have a dog or, a cat or two. It's a lot more. I can't take the goats and the horses and the pigs to someone else's house. I really don't even like the idea of having somebody that only comes and checks on them a couple of times a day, because as we've seen with the gate fiasco today, they get into trouble really quickly. And they're always into some kind of trouble. They're not getting out of the fence. They are fussing with each other, or they're getting injured, and it probably makes it sound like it's not any fun at all, but really it is. I mean, sorry guys, my camera cut out on me for a minute there. As I was saying, I do get a lot out of having my pets. They are very rewarding in a lot of ways. But like most rewarding things, there's a lot of work involved. So, going back to an earlier subject, and I'm sorry guys, my brain just, it bounces a lot. I was mentioning my birthday, and I'm 35. And at first, I was a little upset about the idea of being older and feeling closer to 40. But there are a lot of good things that come with age. And if you are a young woman and you're listening to this, take heed to this, that getting older has its perks. It really does. Now, maybe you have a few more lines on your face, or a few more pounds on your hips, or whatever it is. But you have a lot more wisdom to go with it. And you are more confident in yourself and what you want out of life. You know what you will put up with from people and what you won't, and how to stand up for yourself in a tactful and classy way. And people take you more seriously, and I guess common sense should have told me that would happen, but it didn't necessarily, and I really didn't think about it until it started to happen. For me, I do have some thoughts and beliefs and opinions that some people might consider a little controversial. And I'm not going to go into them here because it's not relevant. But what is relevant is that when I was 20 and I said these things or thought them or talked about them, everything was a phase. Everything was, you'll change your mind when you're older. You don't understand. You're too young. That's just a young woman talking. Trust us, we know, we're older. Well, the vast majority of those things did not change. I understand that some people do change their minds on certain things, but I didn't. And those things continued to be a part of me and haven't changed. And now when I talk about them, no one says those kind of things. No one says, oh, you'll grow out of that. Oh, that's just silly young people foolishness. People understand now that maybe I actually have thought about these things, and maybe I have a reason for why I think and believe the things that I think and believe. And the reasons aren't any different than they were when I was 20. But even though the reasons are still the same, for some reason now it's just kind of okay. So I think it's just that if you're quirky when you're young, it's because you're young. And as you get a little older, people decide, well, maybe she really is that weird. Maybe it's a thing. So that has been somewhat liberating, honestly. And I'm glad of it. Because anyone who has, any belief really, depending on what your beliefs are and who the people around you are, has had that experience of not being taken very seriously about what they believe. And it's very frustrating. It makes you feel like people don't have as much respect for your opinions. So I'm glad that that's kind of said and done and over with in my life. Of course, you don't have as much energy as you had when you were younger. At least I don't. And I can't stay up as late as I used to. I actually worked the midnight shift from 10:30 at night to 7 o'clock in the morning for about 15 years. And in the last year or so of doing it, which was last year, I just couldn't do it anymore. It had always been so easy for me. I got plenty of sleep. I felt fine. And then last year, I just got to where I was tired, no matter how much I slept. And I would get sleepy at work. I would get sleepy coming home from work. And it just got dangerous. It got to where I felt like I couldn't handle the driving, especially since I have a lengthy commute. So at the beginning of this year, I went to day shift, and now I work an early day shift. It's from 6:30 in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And although I'm not getting as much sleep, I actually feel better. So there's something to be said for nighttime sleep. When I worked during the night, I was going to sleep at 9 o'clock in the morning, and I might sleep until 6 o'clock in the afternoon. Now I only get maybe 6 hours a night, but I do feel more rested. And I never thought that would happen. I thought I'd always be a night owl. And I do still like nighttime. I just can't stay up all night and manage to work, like that. So all in all, it's a fair trade. There's good things that come with age, and there's bad things that come with age. Of course, I do understand the people who used to not believe me when I said things, because now I find myself doing it too sometimes. I will hear a young person say some silly thing, or sound silly to me, I should say. And I think to myself, they are going to change their mind. Then I remember that people used to do it to me and how much it drove me crazy. So I don't say anything out loud, even if I really do believe the person will eventually change their mind. Because either they will or they won't, and it's not my business anyway. It is a little frustrating, like at work, where, I work with people of all ages. Some of my coworkers are 18, some of them are in their late 60s, early 70s. And it is frustrating, when a very young person comes in, and it's not just that they're young, but also that they're inexperienced, and I try to give them advice on how to do the job, and they don't want to listen because they already think they know how to do it. And again, I remember being there because I was only 20 when I started. In case I haven't told you guys, I work in a jail. I'm a corrections officer, and I've done it since I was 19 actually. I was 19. And I've learned a lot, and when I was young and new, I didn't want to listen to what anybody had to say either. But the older officers do know something, and they teach you some stuff about how to deal with people, how to make your job easier and safer. So I do wish the young people would listen, but they probably won't. Because I've been there. All I can do is hope that any decisions they make are not serious enough that they might cause injury to somebody. Because that's always a possibility in what I do. Because I deal with people, and all kinds of people. I deal with people who have mental illness. I deal with people who have substances in their system that maybe change the way that they act from how they would normally behave. And it's very dangerous. And I've gotten hurt before. And I just don't want any of them to have that experience of getting hurt. Or to get anybody else hurt, perhaps. Because at the end of the day, that job is all about going home to your family safe and sound. Oh, I'm still struggling with this fabric here, guys. It's just not doing what I want it to do. And I know part of it's because I'm not patient enough, you know. Some people, they'll just sit there and they can just go like this. Just do little bitty circles really slowly. And I can't. I get so impatient. That's why sometimes I work in marker even though I actually don't like the results as much. Because when I'm in a hurry and I don't want to layer, I can just grab some marker and go. Or sometimes I do put the base layer of marker down, like some people do. And then come back in and do some shading with the pencils. And that seems to work pretty well. I don't know what color I want this little baby unicorn foal to be. Maybe pink. Maybe a baby pink would be really pretty against the blue dress. I spend half my time trying to decide what color things need to be. And I understand all the color theory stuff. It just doesn't always help me, you know. I'm like, well, it says those two colors look good together, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I want to put them together. So then I don't. I did a picture the other day, guys, and I did the wrong colors, and it came out so bad. In fact, you know what? I started it on camera. It was the ballerina that I did from the Jade Summer Kawaii Girls book. And I'm glad I have another copy of that picture to work on, because I was not happy with what I did. It just didn't come out right. I made her hair green, which I thought would be pretty, and it wasn't. That's okay. I did finish it. I told myself that I'm not gonna just not finish things just because I'm not entirely happy with how they look. So now I'm actually trying to finish things even if I'm not crazy about them. Because I've got a ton of work in progress pictures that I never did finish. But this one I think will be better. I think this is coming along a lot better, actually. As long as I can have the patience to get the shading done on this dress. So guys, I feel better now that I have gotten to vent to y'all about my day and about how stressful it's been. And my phone really doesn't like doing very long videos, so I'm gonna call it a day here in just a second and wish all of y'all a great weekend. I will try to get more videos done next week. This week I just didn't have the time. You know, it was just so hectic and crazy. And I had so many new subscribers after I posted my channel last week. And thank you all so much. You are wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me. I am really, really, really happy to have you guys. And I hope that you will continue to watch my videos. I was just overwhelmed by your support. So guys, I'm going to talk to you guys next time, hopefully later in the week. And in the meantime, happy coloring to everybody.